Good.
Just get some dynamic.
I'll move it.
You're on camera and your voices will be recorded and posted up there for posterity.
Okay.
She's there in case you want to start pacing or something.
Oh, wow. I could have a real camera.
I'll be the camera person.
Didn't even think about that.
Extra credit.
Please.
I'll take off the first little bit of it if I can figure out how to use it. That's a big input. Okay, so this being Tuesday, and this is the recitation section, and so today we're going to do some extra problems. And so, first of all, does anyone want to go through any of these homework problems? I won't go through all of them, but we'll do a few.
Problem 2, part B.
Problem 2, part B. 1 cubic mile to cubic feet. Well, actually, we haven't really covered the unit conversion yet, have we?
Can I have one of those?
Actually,
No.
should have brought the extras.
Yeah, I didn't get one
This is the
either.
only one that I have.
Fair enough.
Yeah, you'll have to share with the person next to you until after class. I can give you a copy, or I can give you. Okay? Or you can, if everyone has one of these, I could just give them to you. Okay, so problem 2, let's do some unit conversion stuff then, okay? The algebra problems were just fine. Good, well, we'll do the unit conversion then. I think I will turn this. Okay. So first of all, there's many different ways of measuring lengths. There's many different ways of measuring times. There's different ways of measuring, length time masses. And in order to go from one to the other, you have to learn how to do unit conversion stuff. Okay? And so the problem was convert a cubic mile, a mile cubed, 1 cubic mile, to cubic meters?
Feet.
2 cubic feet. All right. So this is a little strange one. Normally we're going to work exclusively with SI or metric units in this class. But the process of doing this will, be the same, those units. Does anyone know how many feet are in a mile?
5,280.
All right, so 1 mile is the same thing as 5,280 feet. Okay, is that familiar? That's a definition. There's no decimal points. There's no anything past there. All right, so what we're going to do if we have to do something like this is we're going to multiply by 1. So I'm going to say 1 mile cubed. if I want to convert it to cubic feet, I can do 5,280 feet in 1 mile. Since 5,280 feet is the same thing as a mile, that will, this is 1. Same thing over the same thing. Ratio is 1. Doesn't change it.
Do you have to cube the 5,780?
I will, but let's see why. So if I were to, the units can be considered to be, like a mile could be considered to be like a variable or something that needs to be canceled. So if I cancel 1 mile here, I'm still left with 2. A mile squared there. You see that? So I need to multiply by 1 again. And then if I canceled that mile, I'd be back without an exponent. And then so I need to multiply by 5,280 feet over 1 mile once again. And then this would cancel all the miles. So if I multiply all these things together, I'm left with a foot cubed, right, as a unit. And so if I did all of that, does anyone have a calculator and want to go through it real quick?
Mine says 1.5 times 10 to the 11.
So that's 150 billion cubic feet. So I think, did everyone get that? Okay. Do you see how it works? You just multiply by 1 and make sure that the units will cancel. Let's try another one. How about that? So the length, probably the most important thing we'll deal with is to go from the SI units, the meters, kilograms, and seconds, to the English units, like the miles or feet, and then, well, pounds. And pounds are a little bit confusing of a force. We usually try and avoid, or confusing of a quantity. We'll try and avoid that as much as possible, because historically it's actually a force, but there's also a unit called pound mass. So the English units can get a little bit confusing. Let's just look at the length part of the English units. So first of all, the connection between English units and metric units are the following. 1 inch is defined, so 3 equal sign means defined, as 2.54 centimeters. Okay. And that is the connection between lengths between the metric and English units. So, anyone run track or anything like that? Roughly, how far is a mile in meters?
Around 1,600.
Yeah, 1,500. A little less than.
1,614.
Wow. All right, let's see if we can confirm that. Okay. So let's see if we can we confirm? We confirm 1614 meters is roughly 1 mile. So let's see if we can do that. So first of all, I'm going to start at 1 mile. I'm going to, if I want to convert that to meters, I'm just going to multiply by 1 like I did before. First of all, I need to get down to inches so I can convert it to the metric units and then back up to meters. So 1 mile, what was it? 5,280 feet, right? So I'm going to multiply this by 1 as 5,280 feet over 1 mile. This, if I canceled the units here, I'd be left with feet. If I want to go from feet to inches, what do I do?
Divide by 12.
So
1 foot over
Multiply.
12 inches.
1 foot is 12 inches, right? So I just have to
12.
put those two over, and then that's 1. I can multiply
Or
by
12
it.
inches over 1.
So how do I want to write it?
12
12
inches.
inches
over 1 foot.
12 inches over 1 foot. If I'm trying to go, if I have feet up here and I'm trying to go to inches, I want to have the feet cancel. So I put right the feet down there, okay? Cancel it like that. Now, if I did this multiplication, it would be in inches. If I want to go to centimeters, then what would I do?
2.54 centimeters over 1 inch.
2.54 centimeters over 1 inch. The inches would cancel here. Good. And then if I want to go back up to meters, what would I do here if I want to get to meters?
1 meter over 1 centimeter.
Yeah, so 1 centimeter or 1 meter is the same thing as 100 centimeters. Hopefully with the metric units, it's fairly straightforward, you know, how to convert amongst those. You know, you have those prefixes of the words. Centi is 1/100, so centimeter is 1/100th of a meter. A kilometer, kilo is 1,000, so a kilometer is 1,000 meters. Those will be the ones that you'll need probably. So, okay, so what will we do here?
Divided by 100.
100.
1 over.
1 meter, 100 centimeters, like that. Okay, centimeters would cancel. And if you multiplied all of that out, what would you get?
1,609.
1609
That's what I got.
meters, right? Well, any decimal?
0.3, yeah. 0.3,
Huh. Why was it 1614? All right. But it's okay. Did everyone get that 1609? So that is how many meters are in 1 mile? You want to do another one?
Sure.
Okay. This one is kind of an interesting problem. There's a big flood that happened up in Idaho and eastern Washington that created a landscape called the Channeled Scablands. Basically, during the last ice ages, a big sheet of glacier came over and dammed up like the, I think it's what was it? They dammed up like the Clark's Fork of some river up there and created what's called Glacial Lake Missoula. And Glacial Lake Missoula was a big lake, about 500 cubic miles of volume, they estimate. So it's a pretty good sized lake. Deep lake. And then after a little bit, you know, when it got deep enough, ice floats right. So the glacier dam that was damming it up floated, broke apart, and this huge flood was released that basically cleaned off eastern Washington. And they estimate that about 500 cubic miles of water came down and in a matter of like a day or two. And so it's a big, big flood. So let's see if we can roughly how many tons of water that is. You want to do that? All right. So, in case, just for your own edification, 1 meter cubed of water weighs 1,000 kilograms, has a mass of 1,000 kilograms. I won't say weight, has a mass of 1,000 kilograms. Okay. Has anyone ever seen that before? About how many tons is 1,000 kilograms?
1 would be
1 ton roughly, right?
2,200 pounds.
Yeah, a kilogram
over a
is
ton.
about 2.2 pounds, right? So this would be 2,000, a little over 2,000 pounds. Actually, this is the definition of a metric ton. So that's what we call a metric ton. Metric ton. Okay. So let's go over here and say, okay, Glacial Lake Missoula, 500 cubic miles. Let's convert that to cubic meters. $500 miles cubed. So if I wanted to convert that to cubic meters, what should I do?
That'd be pretty simple, wouldn't it? Just be 500,000 kilograms?
Well, this is 500 cubic miles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cubic miles of water.
You want to figure out how many cubic meters
Yeah.
you've got?
Yeah, we want to figure out how many cubic meters it is, and each cubic meter will be 1 ton. Okay. So what should we do to go from cubic mile? We'll need to go to cubic meters first, right? So how will we do that?
Could use 1609.
Use a feet,
What's that?
use a feet of.
Yeah, okay. We'll start out with the feet
Yeah.
to get to the feet for 1 mile. We did 5,280 feet. Is the same thing as 1 mile, right? So if I were to cancel units, I would have miles squared still here, right? So what do I have to do?
Cube the top, 5,200 feet.
Yeah.
And both of them, but top and the bottom.
Yeah, so you'd have to actually do this 3 times, wouldn't you? Now, it's kind of becomes a pain to do it 3 times each one, so might as well just write it like a cube like that, okay? So this would be in cubic feet, wouldn't it? So how would I go to, what would I do next?
Feet to inch. No?
Yep, remember the length that we're looking for between metric and English units has to be the inch to the centimeter. And so you're gonna have to go down to cubic inches, then cubic centimeters, then back up to cubic meters. Yeah,
I have a question. Since we found out how many meters are exactly in a mile, could we just do the converting when we did 1 cubic mile to cubic foot?
I like that a lot. All right, you wanna just do that?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I was thinking outside the box, that's a lot easier, isn't it? So we know that, so what should we do?
You would just do the same thing, but put 1609.3 over 1 and then keep it. Like close your parentheses. We'll put that over 1.
Okay, so I should put a unit here, shouldn't I?
Oh yeah, meters, sorry.
It's the same thing as 1
The
mile, okay?
close your parentheses and then keep it.
Cubic. Then the cubic miles would cancel out with the cubic miles, and I'd be left with the cubic meters, right? So what would you get here?
.2 times 10 to the negative 9?
I don't think it should be a negative.
Okay, positive 9 and then what, if you went to the left, when, well, it gave me a huge number, I was trying to convert it into
Okay.
scientific notation.
So this one would be 4.2 times 10 to the 9.
If you go this way, to the positive.
So it would be, so you have to walk. So I'd have 500
Oh,
miles
crap.
cubed.
Okay, sorry,
2.08
miles.
times
Yeah.
10 to the 12th.
times 2.
Times, will this be cubed?
So it'd just be 2.1 times 10 to the 12, right? The whole
After you
answer.
multiply
Yeah,
the
after you
fraction.
multiply.
So
Yeah,
2.1
2.1
times 10 to the 12
meters. Yeah.
Did everyone get that? Okay. So this would be 2.1. So if each cubic meter of water had a mass of 1 ton, metric ton, so that would be 2.1 trillion metric tons of water came through there. So it's a pretty neat flood. They didn't even know that they had these weird things called channeled scabland, which I've never seen, which I'd like to see, but they're like apparently huge potholes dug out by vortices in the flood. So it'd be neat to see that. We need to go through and look at all of that stuff.
Not the day to go canoeing.
How many people died?
Well, it's prehistorical, so there probably, I think there were people over on North America that at the last time it did it, but kind of unknown. So, they didn't record, well, nobody observed it that recorded it. You can see the various lake levels. Apparently there were 40 of these lakes over the different ice ages that formed. You can see them different levels of the lake, and also there have been more than one flood. And you can see debris from those. It's pretty neat, apparently. All right. Would you like to do anything else?
Can we do like some of the on the bottom with the shape with the triangles,
Okay.
Finding angles.
so we know what?
All right. Well, yes, we can start to do that. How about that? I was thinking, actually, just occurred to me, maybe one more unit conversion, okay? One more unit conversion, and then we'll do that. I'd like to go with a speed. Because in physics, we use the meters, seconds, kilograms. Around here, we usually have a sense of what a mile per hour is, right? So let's see if we can figure out what a mile, the relation between meters per second and mile per hour. So I think, we all have a fairly good sense of what, say, maybe 10 miles per hour is. This would be, if you're running at a fairly good clip, that's roughly 10 miles an hour. Running, I'm not sprinting, but running. And so this would be 10 miles over an hour. And I want to convert that to meters per second. The reason I put a 10 here instead of 1 mile per hour is just so I don't, so I don't get just decibels. So first of all, how would I do this? Yeah,
The
you could do
1609.
that. You could do that if you wanted to go from miles to meters immediately. Or work through, or if you don't remember that and you only remember the 2.54 centimeters, you can work through there. Shall we do that meters to miles directly? Save a step or two. All right, we can do 1609.3 meters is 1 mile. Okay? This, if I canceled the unit here, I'd be left with meters per hour. What should I do now?
30 hours to seconds.
Yeah.
3,600 seconds to an hour.
Okay, that's right, there's 3,600 seconds in an hour. So I could do, or 60 seconds a minute, 60 minutes an hour. So I could do 1 hour is the same thing as 3,600 seconds. and then I can cancel these hours, and the only units I'm left with is meters over second. So if I do that, what do you get?
4.5. After rounding.
4.5 meters
Meters
per
per
second.
second.
And what was it before rounding?
4.47.
All right. So what you have here is just a sense that, you know, first of all, a meter per second is a little over 2 miles an hour. And so, you know, 10 miles an hour would be a little under 5 meters per second. Okay. So, you know, if you're looking up muzzle velocities of, you know, bullets or something like that, they often do that in meters per second. Basically, do a little more than double that, and you'll get to miles per hour. Okay. So if I'm going 60 miles an hour, roughly how many meters a second am I going?
120?
30.
Or no, 30.
Yeah, a little under 30, yeah. Good. Okay, so the next question was on triangles. And I was going to cover trigonometry next time, but we can probably start doing some stuff today.